Have you ever heard a story so strange that it made you question what's really possible? 3 people. 3 different places. 3 encounters that still defy explanation. A house where reality seemed to break apart overnight. A lake where mysterious lights appeared again and again. And a forest encounter with a figure so tall, so unnatural, it still haunts the witness to this day. And the most disturbing part? None of these people knew each other, yet their experiences feel connected by something we don't fully understand. Let's start with the first story. It began in a place so isolated that even the sound of wind felt distant. A couple was staying alone in a massive countryside home, surrounded by empty fields stretching far beyond the property line. At first, everything felt perfect. A peaceful night, dinner together, laughter, and the kind of comfort that makes you forget the outside world even exists. But that feeling didn't last. Because around 1 a.m., everything changed. A deafening sound suddenly exploded through the house. It wasn't just loud, it felt physical. Like the entire structure was shaking under pressure. Glass rattled, the floor seemed to vibrate, and for a moment both of them thought the house itself might collapse. It sounded almost like a gigantic horn, but deeper, heavier, more unnatural than anything they had ever heard. And then, silence. But that silence didn't bring comfort, it brought fear. They checked the windows. Nothing outside. No cars. No machines. No explanation. Just endless darkness stretching across the property. And then it happened again. A bright flash lit up the entire backyard like a sudden lightning strike, but there were no clouds, no storm, nothing in the sky that could explain it, just pure white light swallowing the night for a split second before disappearing. That's when things started escalating. The floodlight outside turned on by itself. No movement, no animal, no wind, just activated, as if something triggered it. And then came the whispering. Not words, not language, just low, broken sounds like something trying to speak without forming sentences. That's when they saw it. Shadows, 2 figures moving outside the windows. But they weren't walking normally. Their movements were wrong, almost drifting, swaying unnaturally like something imitating human motion without understanding it. The couple tried calling for help. No signal. No Wi-Fi. Nothing, and this is where the story takes an unexpected turn. The shadows moved closer, now directly outside the kitchen door, a door they were sure had been locked earlier. And then came the sound again. That same massive horn-like blast. So loud they covered their ears, falling to the floor in panic. And when it stopped, everything outside was gone. No shadows, no movement, just silence. Minutes later, both doors of the house front and side blew open at the exact same time. And nothing entered. Nothing chased them. Nothing followed. It was as if whatever was there wanted them to know it could get in, but chose not to. When police finally arrived, there were no footprints, no evidence, nothing to explain what had just happened, just a couple shaking, trying to describe something that didn't make sense even as they said it out loud. And that was the end of their night, but not the end of their questions. To this day, that couple never returned to that house. They never found an explanation for the sound, the shadows, or why whatever was outside chose to leave. That is where the first story ends. And honestly, it might be the most unsettling kind of ending there is. Not with a chase, not with a confrontation, but with a choice made by something else. A man moved into a quiet lakeside cabin after a painful breakup, looking for peace, isolation, and a fresh start. For weeks, everything felt normal, just him, his dog, and the calm of nature. Until the night the lights appeared, strange glowing orbs hovering over the horizon of the lake. At first they looked distant, almost like stars behaving incorrectly. But then they started moving. Not randomly, not drifting, but shifting in patterns. The dog refused to go outside. And that's when things got strange. The lights disappeared, suddenly shooting upward into the sky like they were being pulled away. But the next night, they returned. And this time, they were closer. Much closer. Some stayed still over the water while others moved deliberately, as if responding to something unseen. Then, slowly, the stationary lights began to merge together, one by one, until they formed a single massive glowing sphere hovering over the lake. No sound, no explanation, just this silent, impossible structure of light hanging over the water like it didn't belong to Earth. And then it sank. Not exploded, not vanished. It sank below the horizon as if it was entering something. The man couldn't sleep that night, and neither could his dog. But the third night is where everything became terrifying. The lights appeared again, but this time, they came closer than ever before, moving toward the shoreline. And this is where the story takes another turn. As they approached, a faint humming sound filled the air, like electrical energy vibrating through the atmosphere. Then, chaos. The lights suddenly scattered, shooting in every direction. Some hit trees, some hit the water, some hit the house itself, but there was no damage, no fire, no impact marks, just silence again. And then they were gone. No explanation, no trace, only unanswered questions that would stay with him forever. And that is where the second story ends. The man eventually left the cabin not because of what the lights did, but because of what they didn't do. They never made contact, never communicated. They simply watched. 3 nights, then nothing. He never saw them again. But his dog never fully recovered its calm around that lake. And the man himself says one thing changed. Permanently, he can no longer look at still water at night without feeling like something beneath it is looking back. A man hiking alone at night noticed something strange while sitting on a cliff overlooking the forest. At first, it was just a sound, a pulsing vibration like a low hum echoing through the trees. Then suddenly, everything stopped. No wind, no insects, no sound at all. The forest became completely silent. And that's when he felt it. A presence behind him. He turned slowly and saw it. A tall figure standing between the trees. Not an animal, not a normal human. Too tall, too thin, standing unnaturally still. At first, he thought it was a trick of the light. But when he moved slightly, the figure reacted instantly. It flinched like it was watching him. And waiting, the man froze. Because now he knew this wasn't imagination. The figure stepped into view slightly, revealing something even more disturbing. Its proportions weren't right. The limbs were too long. The posture is too stiff. Like something trying to mimic a human shape without understanding it properly. Then it made a sound, a sharp, distorted noise that didn't belong to any known animal. And suddenly, it moved. Not walking, not run. It vanished into the forest at unnatural speed. And just like that, the sound of the forest returned. Wind, insects, life, as if nothing had ever been there. But the man knew what he saw, or at least he thought he did. And that is where the third story ends, or at least where his memory of it ends. He made it back to his car. He drove home. He was physically unharmed. But those missing hours never came back. No hypnosis, no therapy, no amount of retracing his steps filled in what was lost. The figure in the woods left no footprints, No broken branches, no evidence it had ever existed. Only the silence it left behind and the hours it took with it as proof that something was there. That is the end of the third story, and perhaps the most frightening ending of all, because it's incomplete. Make sure to like the video, subscribe for more unexplained mysteries, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what we uncover next.